Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 45th episode of Where Are They Now? Every week we bring you candid interviews with our legendary artists and our music people, local and international, who have contributed to the mosaic that is South Africa's music heritage. Here they share their journeys, their amazing experiences, and we are the witnesses to these lives so well lived. Tonight's guest is a woman I have had the honor of knowing for many years. I watched her blossom into every undertaking she took on. I watched how she handled her business with her signature personal touch, with class, with dignity, and it will always be the top publicity company in our country because it is often used for international work, for all special items, and a very special human heads this. Her name is Penny Stein, and I'm so happy to have you here, Penny. Welcome.
Hi, good evening. How lovely to chat to you. I hope you noticed I put some makeup on for you. First time in a year. It's all gone crusty, the makeup. Yeah.
It doesn't look crusty yet.
Well,
it could get crusty later. Well, it's an excuse, Penny, to just go and buy a whole new range of bloody makeup, darling.
That's if I'll brave the shops. That's another time, another story.
So you've literally been in lockdown. You've not gone out and you've kept yourself just like that.
Well, I have.
Okay.
I've been very cautious.
Yes.
I have a family to worry about.
Sure.
And I have a husband to worry about. And we're not young ones anymore. And I have extended family who are all in that kind of age group.
Yes.
And I made a decision at the beginning that, I mean, you won't believe that I was actually in Miami a week before we went into lockdown.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, it was like a week and a half before. But I will tell you is that I think we made that decision because of the unknown, like everybody.
Yes.
Didn't want to get sick. Read a lot of stuff on it. Got a lot of misinformation. And you know what? Would I go and face a lion and go and take on a lion? No, I wouldn't. So I see COVID a bit like that. Would I challenge a lion? No, I wouldn't. I'll just stay away until the lion's passed. It's been challenging for everybody. We've all had losses. I've had losses, sadly, COVID collateral. More friends who never went to the doctor when they should have and died from something else because they were too scared to go to the hospital. Which, we've had a couple of tragedies, I must say, which has made me even more cautious and aware. And I actually took in a lot of vulnerable children at that stage. They were all coming to live with me for 5 weeks. These are not strange kids. These are kids I know who were living in various townships. And because of the unknown, and it was also new, I said to their moms and dads, you all better come and live with me. So I was running a home, which was meant to be for 5 weeks, which was 6 months. With an extra 12 people in my home. I had to school, feed, clothe, swim them, TV them, help them. And we were all locked up in this house. We couldn't walk, so we had the dogs, we had Netflix, We ate non-stop. In fact, I always thought that I was a really average cook. And I'm
Yeah.
pleased to say that COVID has brought out the best cooking in me. I never
Ah,
thought I'd get to that. I always thought
wow.
I'd be average. But I proudly can wear my COVID cooking badge because everyone arrived very thin and they
Yes.
all left very large. Yeah. So I had these beautiful
Well
kids.
done.
Yeah. So I had these beautiful kids, and the least I could do was take care of them and their parents. And they've been back and forwards, and when things have gotten really bad, they've come back again. So we just kept our bubble going.
Yes.
Thank God we're fine, we're all okay.
Yes.
But yeah, it's taken its toll on all of us.
Well, you take on a responsibility like that. It's got to make some kind of mark. But you seem to have always done things like this, Penny. If I look at your history, working with Discam, working with the kids, you've always been. I don't know what to call it. People don't want to say a savior of anything. It sounds so trite in its way. But you are. You always reach out to the less fortunate. You have this in you. And I think that's so commendable and it's so honest and it's something real for us to hold on to, that there are people out there doing things that you're doing, you know?
Well, thank you for that. I come from a family like that, and I can
Yes.
say that it's in my DNA. It was my mother's DNA,
Yeah.
and my mom used to fetch old ladies and take them to doctors. She used to collect books for book sales. She used to make cake for cakes. I mean, my mum was like that, and she instilled that in us. And I've taken it through my whole life, but I've been so privileged to have been part of and have explored this
That's,
country in a way like most people never get to see. And it's the good, the bad, and the very, very ugly, which we'll talk
okay.
about later.
Yeah, we're going
But
to talk about all kinds of
yeah,
things. I'm glad we touched on that. While we talk, people are sending us messages, and I always love to just stop for a moment and see who's there. Tim Hill, hello Penny, hello
oh God,
Cindy.
hi Tim, Tim in London.
Tim in London. Tim is actually my PR agent and has
Yes,
been
I
for years.
know. I
He's
know
my,
him.
yeah, he's a doll, and he always speaks of you.
Yeah, I know
Marion,
him.
of course, you guys have been in the same industry.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
my dear Marion in Germany saying hello, Marion. Rolf in Germany, Christian Stein, local. Christian's a very good guy to know. He helps musicians. He's got a law firm, and he helps
Oh, lovely.
gives them specs and how to handle your business. You know,
Critical,
and yeah, very critical. And
critical.
Anthony works with he is the other half of Robin All's publishing company, and he lives in
Okay.
Palma de Mallorca in
So
Spain.
you're
So
very international. We're very international from London to Mallorca.
we love it, and that's how we are. So Penny, I mean, 30 years. That's quite a feat for this diverse industry, not just corporates, but your commitment to social responsibility, which we will talk about as well. Where did it all start for you? I mean, a little girl saying, I want to be in the music business, I want to be in this business. Did you have your ideas? You were an
So,
entrepreneur when you were young already.
totally.
I
So, first of
know.
all, I'm going to correct you. It's 40 years. I'm aging us a little bit there, but it's 40 years.
Okay, 40 years. Well, no, that's when I met you. I was about 18. I was working for the record company, and you were working for a record company.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, I'll tell you how it all started. I come from a family of five, and my mom and my dad were very regular, very, normal South African family we were. education was absolutely everything to them. All the money went into educating us and giving us a good education. There was no money for shoes. I got all the hand-me-downs. I got all the crap. Okay. I got all the holes. I was really lucky, though, that I had a much bigger foot than all four of them.
So you had to get new shoes.
But she would never buy me the shoes I wanted. She always bought me Jack and Jill Basic Fit. I don't know if you remember those, and they were red.
I remember.
And I left them outside in our road to get stolen, and of course they got stolen, and this is when I was a young girl. Anyway, because I couldn't bear them. So we had to earn our own pocket money. We didn't get pocket money. Okay. So we worked at the record library when we were 12 years old. We used to shelve records. We got R2.50 a day. My dad used to drop us off and come and collect us. He was a great classical music lover, and he was a great intellectual, my father and my mother. And they used to go to the book library on Saturdays in town and spend hours wandering around, and we used to shelve books and records. Then we grew tomatoes in the garden, and you know tomatoes are the worst things to grow because they go crazy. They don't stop growing. So we sat in our street and we made little parcels. I made little parcels. 2 cents a bag of tomatoes. Then my dad was the head buyer, book buyer of CNA, and he used to bring something called litho wipe home. And litho wipe is the cleaning material that you clean all the big printing machines with. And I thought, great, glue paper. So I cut them into little squares, put them in a bag, and then a bag was 3 cents. Okay. And this is how my entrepreneurial spirit started. I was a waitress. This is all during school too.
Yes.
We did whatever you did to make bucks.
You absolutely. What school were you at?
I was at St. Mary's in Waverley.
Yeah. Yes.
No, I wasn't a head girl or a prefect or anything, but can I tell you what I was? I was the very best orange delivery person at a hockey game or a tennis game. And even on my school report, they wrote that I had exceptional passion and determination in seeing my job through.
Well, there you go. And they were right, Penny.
That was my skill.
That was your skill.
Handing out orange segments. Never played in a team. Never played in a team. I was in reserve teams. I was the reserve team that never got to play anything. Okay.
But so you fulfilled your other job. The other job was more important.
Big obligation, yeah. So what happened was the rest of the family all went to university, and I have lawyers and professors and doctorates and da. And I said, no, I'm going out to work. And I want to earn bucks. I actually had saved 2,500 rand to buy my first car at 18 with no help. Okay. Absolutely no help. Yeah. I bought a little Renault, yellow Renault. It was so sweet, and the whole roof opened, and it had little yellow blocks. This was very, very big. This was big. I bought my own car.
Yes.
Anyway, I said I'm going for a job. I just turned 18. I'd matriculated. In fact, I just turned 18 and I didn't have a driver's license yet. So I had 3 interviews lined up from a friend of mine who worked in a personnel agency. One was in a hotel, one was at a record company, and I think one was a supermarket. And everyone said PR, and I'd always said to everybody when I was growing up, I'm going to be a chameleon when I'm older. And of course, it was a comedian, but I was going to be a chameleon. So, well, that fell through the roof very quickly. Walked into RPM Records, and I went through a bit of a washing machine. I was girl number 58. Anyway, I was the last, girl number 58. I got to see the marketing director, the managing director, the financial director, the da, 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 da. And they hired me on the spot. And they said, you got a license? I said, yes, of course I got a license. Well, of course, even though I had a car.
A license for a horse.
Anyway, then they said, right, start tomorrow. You've got your first presentation. We've got a gold disc presentation for Anton Courson. And I thought, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Didn't know what a gold disc presentation. You like music, right? Don't you? I said, yeah. We all listen to Springbok Radio and we dance. This is 1980.
Yes.
We danced to David Gresham, top 20, in front of the mirror, and we grooved to it. That's what we used to do.
Sure.
And I think 5FM, we listened to 5FM too. Anyway, we grew up on Cat Stevens, Crosby, Still and Nash, Uriah Heep, Led Zeppelin. Yes. So, I mean, I was really into music, and we loved going dancing, clubbing. Very different story. You know, that's when you could hear the music, you could hear the words, you could sing along. The rhythm was there.
Those were the days, darling.
Sorry, those days.
Those were the days, yeah.
Yeah. And you dressed up and you you boogied till dawn. It was fabulous. Sure. So fabulous. I can't remember the last time I've done that. So I started with RPM, and how lucky was I? I had 3 colleagues, the craziest 3 men alive at that stage of my life.
Okay.
Paul Zamek.
Oh, my boy.
Mike Hill.
Mike the best.
Robbie Mann.
Of course. Oh, my God.
So they were marketing label managers. So, of course, I come in. I knew nothing about PR, but my job was to create and develop a PR department. But I learned from these incredible guys.
Brilliant guys to this day.
They were rock stars.
They were
rock and roll record company rock stars. There were quite a few around at that time.
Yes.
First of all, Paul used to have his hat on.
His hat.
Used to throw his cigarette up in the air and catch it. Robbie was just mirrored shades. Michael was mirrored shades, but had a flirt and a swag about him. And I spent 8 years with RPM and the guys, and we created a very big PR department. I was promoted. And I had gotten a television show.
With Leon.
Yeah,
Leon Schuster. Yeah.
So I was working 7 days a week. I was recording 4 shows a weekend or 8 shows with Di Rosen and Percy van Rooyen. He would do the Afrikaans, I would do the English. And we had a lot of fun. I was traveling the world for RPM because I was a label manager. Went to the Motown convention in 1986. They sent me.
Nice.
And I had to be babysat. I was a real young girl. I had to be babysat because things were very hectic in this country at that stage.
Yeah.
And out of the blue, Stevie Wonder sent me a message on the screen. He was doing a whole thank you Motown, blah, 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 blah. And then he said, I'd really like to welcome Penny Stein from South Africa. And he said something like, I'm sure you'd rather be here than there, or something. We were in Nantes in France. And in actual fact, I flew with the chairman, in his helicopter, because they were so worried that I wouldn't be able to handle myself. And I can tell you, I handled myself perfectly.
I'm sure.
I knew what I had to do. Sure. I knew what I had to say. Yeah. I wasn't intimidated. And luckily enough, Motown was my favorite label. I mean, I'm a real R&B girl.
Love that stuff.
So, and then, the traveling just, I had an incredible managing director. I had three. The late Matt Mann, who had started RPM, then Ivor Schlossberg, who moved to London, who was an incredible person, who had so much belief in me and pushed me. And then, of course, Irving Schlossberg. So those were the three over the 8 years. I have to tell you is that between the television shows, I mean, I think we did 1,000 shows. No, it was crazy. I had peaked very high early in my life. Peaked very high, very early. And I think I started to burn out very early. I was being pulled from pillar to post, hustling records, hustling playlists, hustling artists, doing TV shows, writing out, it was press releases, it was trainees, it was press conferences. It was crazy. And at that stage, international artists were coming to South Africa and playing at Sun City. And of course, Hazel Feldman was part of that. So quite a lot of the artists at the very beginning of my career, like Barry Manilow, Kenny Rogers, Rod Stewart, there were a lot. I can't remember them all, but there were a lot. They played at Sun City. So my exposure was at a very, very young age. And of course, I, at that stage, was the record company PR. So
it was young age, but high end already, like when you hit it at that age and you've hit the big one, it's like...
Well, I can tell you is that you're mature in your work, but you're not mature enough to handle all of this. You don't know how to place it. You know how to do the work. You just don't know where to put all that energy. You don't know how, when you live on adrenaline, like I did, and that became my drug, you don't know when to stop. The treadmill runs all the time. You don't know how to say no, yes, because you're also a bit of a control freak.
Absolutely.
Because things have to be done your way.
Sure.
And it was a very difficult job because if you didn't have great relationships, you could get fired. Everything about my job was relationships. The media didn't like me. The artists didn't like me. You were history. You were gone.
Yeah.
So it was that, and let me tell you, there was some hectic media in my day.
I can imagine,
It's no different now. It's just on a different level. But in my day, oh my God, I had sleepless nights. Okay.
Yeah, well, there was a dog-eat-dog kind of attitude. They were very driven. Everybody was driven, and it's our show, it's my show. I've made my mark. You can't take that from me, and all that kind of stuff as well.
Also, you start taking on a bad record review. I mean, what the hell is that? You kind of feel responsible for it.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway,
you do.
So, a glorious 8 years of my life. My God, I'd have it over again anytime. It was invigorating, fun, challenging, stimulating, made me think of my feet, made me realize that I did have a skill and that this was my skill. And I was lucky at a young age to find it. I also think I was never fazed by the glamour and glitz of it.
Yeah.
It was a job.
Yeah.
Because I think if you get locked up into that whole, I'm in the record industry and, I'm really hard and I'm groovy and I'm, it's a damn hard job.
Hard job, as we know.
It's a damn hard job. And in our days, it was very fashionable. But I don't know how it is nowadays. I don't know if it is that fashionable.
Very different. It's a different look. I want to look at some photos.
I'm going to put my glasses on. Yeah.
Yes. You've got incredible stories and stuff. I want to try and get some of them in because there's some spectacular stuff. Julian, can you put up some of the photos and let the lovely Penny give us the dirt, honey? That's you with the guy from Supertramp.
Yes, John Helliwell.
Joe.
Oh my God. Quick
Oh my
story.
God. Yes, please.
We did an in-store appearance in Pretoria. He was out doing a promo tour for Baba Sunday. Oh, I can see the album cover. Skyline. Okay.
Breakfast in America.
Breakfast in America. Thank you. In Pretoria. Nobody came to the meet and greet. I was running around giving shoppers free Supertramp albums if they went and got an autographed album. And we had to give the stock away. Yeah. Nobody knew who he was then.
I know.
I loved him.
Absolutely.
Player. Fabulous guy. Okay, now that's the biggest guy I've ever met. That was Eminem Bodyguard. I'm 5'7". Look how big he is. I look like a dwarf. Okay.
What? Oh
that's
my
Eminem's
God.
Bodyguard. That was the last. Yeah, that was the biggest guy I've ever met, and I've done hundreds and hundreds of tours with bodyguards. You can't believe it. Look at his shoes.
Yes,
I think it was Charles, his name. Yeah,
but he was very big, very big.
That's big. Okay, that's show business. That is show business for sure. Okay, Brian Adams.
Brian's a lovely guy.
That was at the Dome in Northgate. And I'll tell you what, it just happened before that. Brian had an interview on Mnet in Randburg, and we had a police escort, and they drove like maniacs, and I was in the car with him. Oh. And I couldn't be cool. There was just no way I could be cool. I vomited in the car. I was being thrown around.
Oh my God.
And it was awful. It was just damn awful.
And it's scary too.
You go in a
very scary.
I've been in many.
No.
You can vomit.
Yeah. It is. It's very scary.
I'm swerving. It's like, where's your dignity? You can't have any. I'm not used to this. This is not how I live my life. Give me some fresh air. Give me fresh air, please. Yeah. Okay, Miss Ross.
Miss
Diana.
Ross.
Well, the first thing I said to her when I met her is, do I call you Miss Ross or Diana? Because everyone said you only call her Miss Ross. It was such a lot of nonsense. She said, call me Diana. And actually, she liked me a lot. I went to her hotel room. She invited me in, and she asked me what she should wear for the concert. Oh my God, have you seen beaded clothes? Diana Ross is the queen of ball gowns.
Yes.
Magical ball gowns.
Yeah.
Fairy tale, showbiz ball. She had 6 or 7 changes in her concert. And she even said you could try them on.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But she was tall and slim and she could wear that stuff, yeah.
If I tell you 30 kilos a dress, I'm not lying. I mean, I just felt them, the quality, the beauty, the magnificence, the color. She was very, very lovely, and I enjoyed her a lot. And I felt, my experiences with a lot of these artists are completely different to what you read about,
Sure.
Mine is very much a one-on-one.
Yes. So you get to really see who they are.
I do. I get to see the truth behind. No makeup, no glamour, no glitz. An off day.
Yeah.
Can't always be on. You just can't. It's impossible.
Christina
Aguilera, who I love as an artist. She's one of my favorite female vocalists. Wow, she can pack a song, that one.
That one
Lovely,
can pack it.
Beautiful, very beautiful. Talent, real talent. Not a one-hit wonder.
No.
She was young. So was I.
Darling. We're still young at heart.
Big respect for her.
Really, hey?
She had chops like no
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got chops because that's that scatting, you know, that
Yeah.
thing that they
Yeah,
have.
yeah, yeah.
She's the queen of it. Her and
she's
Celine, you know.
one of my favorites. That's Billy Gibbons from ZZ
Billy
Top.
Gibbons, what a guy.
So Billy, that's actually Billy and I at a function at Sun City. I schlepped him there for I think it was a beauty pageant. I don't know what I was doing there. But it was very
Billy,
unlike
come
ZZ
with me.
Top.
I need a date. Billy Gibbons, just
Yeah,
come
it's
with
like
me.
there's actually some other guys. Yeah, no, it was his date. He didn't have anybody. I've been in many people's dates.
I'm
He
sure.
didn't have anybody. Yeah, or they've been mine.
Yes.
So Billy and I became friends, and we still remain friends. And
Lovely.
he actually bought me a Land Rover as a gift, like a
What?
proper Land Rover. Yeah, like a proper
Where? Here?
Bundu bashing Land Rover.
Oh my
Yeah.
God,
Okay.
what a nice
You're right
gift.
at my house. No, you're right at my house. It's like a Bundu bashing. It's got no windows.
Oh, I love it.
What am I going to do with this? He said, you'll park
live in
your
Joburg.
garage.
I said, we live in Joburg. Nobody can't walk. You can't drive around with no
You can't
windows.
walk. Let me drive with no windows. What does he think? I'm going to drive half an hour. I'm going to see lions. What does he think? Anyway, he had this weird, crazy, eccentric, loving, mad kind of thing going. He was in Vegas once, and there was a huge boxing match. I can't tell you who it was because I don't watch boxing, but it was one of those major, like the two big guys.
Yeah.
And the one wears leopard print shorts.
Okay.
So he bought those leopard print shorts for me and sent them to me as a gift. I mean, that's weird.
It's very interesting. But you know, most of these guys, you know, they're very like quirky. They're like off the wall, especially the Americans.
Yeah. Nice gentleman
Yeah.
at his age, and I think he was maybe 70 at that age. He performed to 90,000. 90,000. You could hear a pin drop. Yeah. You could hear a pin drop.
Neil Diamond, yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
And Attie van Wyk.
And Attie in the picture.
Yes.
And that is a beautiful beaded platter that I went to look for him. Because I thought, you know, I had to always get the gifts and the whatever and for artists and that was something to remind him of our country. Yeah.
Because from here it looks like a platter of hors d'oeuvres.
No, it's got a tree and it's got animals beaded on it.
Looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Cliff.
Richard.
We love Cliff.
Yeah.
I still adore Cliff.
Performed.
A mensch, you know.
The old ladies went nuts. Then you absolutely every strong, full of energy. Peter Pan. His concert was great. The lighting. I just
what year?
lots of pink.
Do you remember that year? Because he gave us, he gave Clout our first gold record at Plum Crazy.
Oh, okay.
So it might have been on that tour.
90s. It was 90s.
Oh, no, then it was earlier. We were 80s.
No, it was 90s. I think he played at the Coliseum before. This was at the Dome. Yeah.
Okay.
But charming, kind, generous, loves his fans, played to them, interesting.
Sings well still. Sings beautifully. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've done some hardcore rock too.
Yeah, baby.
So this is the Coke Fest. So I did all the Coke Fest for Coca-Cola. Wow, we did some crazy rock stuff. And that was James from Metallica.
Yes.
And he was very cool. If you have a look at pictures of me, that's such a common picture, begging for autographs. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like just one more. So if you have to look at my history, all the pictures are like T-shirt, piece of paper, posters, like just one more. Just please, just one more.
For so and so.
Yeah. But I do have to admit to you very openly that I'm the queen of fake signatures now too.
Okay. Good job,
My career gave me that gift.
That's brilliant because, I mean, how many times can you ask somebody for a signature? There were times that we just say, leave me alone. Yeah.
I've lied about autographs. I've made up stories that I don't even know how I got to get an autograph. You got to think out the box and on your feet.
Absolutely. In your business.
You got to put it in your heartstrings. You got to. Yeah.
I want to see who's watching us. Hold on to that picture. Penny, you need to write your autobiography.
One day. Jenny Cress Williams keeps on telling me.
Yes, you have to. Tony Gaza. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Penny. Tony Gaza from Fat City. Great musician. Do you remember Tony? And Bernie Williams, also lovely musician. Just saying hi, Penny. Right.
You've got a lot of friends, Cindy.
I do.
I don't know any of my friends there. I don't think I've got one friend.
But you need to shout at them and say, listen, why didn't you come and watch me on the show?
Yeah.
Damn. No, well, my friends are loving you, so don't worry. You covered, girl. You're so covered.
Okay, so let me tell you about Tom Jones.
Tom Jones is one of my favorite artists, only because he's so good
at Sun City. He looks very red in the picture.
Yes.
Because we had all been suntanning that day. Yeah, tanning. That's what you look like when you're white and you go and tan like that at Sun City. So he was so cool. And you know, I thought, I don't know how this concert is going to be. And I had watched his videos and I could sing his songs. I watched him. The ladies were pulling their brooks off, their old brooks.
I love it.
On the stage, I swear to God, I could have done it myself, but I was wearing jeans. Okay. I got caught up in that crazy pelvic thrust. He's like, he grooves and he rolls and he's just got it going. Even at his age, I think he was 17.
I know.
Too.
No, he's spectacular.
And I watched him the other night on The Voice.
Yeah.
Doing a cappella. Did you watch him? I don't even
I didn't watch that one.
Oh.
No.
Magic. Next.
No, he's next.
Okay, Pink.
Pink. Lovely girl.
Pink, lovely. Sun City. Wow. My God. She did acrobatics. I'd never seen anything like that. It was the first time I'd seen somebody come down from the ceiling and float with a rope.
Yes.
Went around you know, she does that whole thing. This was at the beginning. This was like the first time. That six-pack, the strength, and she could sing while she was being thrown around the venue. No. Amazing. Amazing. And I'm
laughing a lot. She's a lovely
this guy.
That guy.
Yeah. So this guy, give me another hour, I can talk about him.
Okay.
This guy, so I can say that I've never really been a fan of anybody's. I've just always seen my career as a job. Okay. And I suppose that's why I managed to do it, because it was just a job for me. Mm-hmm. This guy, I was brought up on, the Commodores.
Yes.
I was the Earth, Wind and Fire, Commodores, Weather Report. Well, Lionel Richie was the ultimate man. Mm. Lionel Richie arrives in South Africa, and of course, I share a name of one of his greatest songs. And first of all, I met him at his hotel. Very lovely. I was very calm and cool. Then we had a concert, and it was at the Dome in Northgate, and he started with Penny Love, and I was sitting not in the stadium, in the seats, but I was in the pit, which all the photographers are, and he looked at me and he said to me, "That one's for you, Penny."
Oh, my
And he
Lord.
looked at me down and he sang, Now listen, I didn't know if I was sweating so much, I looked awful. I couldn't breathe, but I couldn't show that I couldn't breathe. I almost needed a paramedic because I was trying to be so cool and I couldn't be cool. But, you know, as the publicist and all the media with it, and he's singing to me, and this is Lionel Richie singing Penny Lover. Hello,
To you.
your song. I have to tell you, well, that was me.
Whoa.
I was finished. We went to Cape Town. We had a stunning time. I took him to buy art. Oh, he was such fun. Fabulous flirt. He's a fabulous flirt.
I'm
He knows
sure.
how to say the right stuff.
I'm
He's
sure.
so cool. He bursts into song, and you just like, you dissolve. You dissolve.
And how far did you dissolve, Penny? Did you dissolve all the way or just some of the
mad?
way?
Are you totally mad? I need to dissolve for a second, and I go back to.
I'm just
reality.
asking because we can't. If we're in this business, you can't cross that line.
No, it was Penny Lover that made me dissolve. It was just my song now. Yeah. You know, I'm sure when you sing a song to somebody and they just dissolve.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You know the feeling.
No,
Okay.
sure, they do.
You know, Gloria Estefan, fabulous. My first introduction to Miami, Cuban, Latino sounds. She was magical.
She's spectacular. Her family, her husband, they're all beautiful people. Lovely people.
And they own a whole lot of beautiful hotels on South Beach, Miami.
Wow.
Gorgeous. Okay, Jared Leto.
Yes.
Well, most girls would have melted.
Yes.
I didn't melt. I thought he was okay. Damn fine, good-looking young man, I will say.
Yes.
Yeah, great artist. A lot of fun.
Was that 30 Seconds to Mars?
Yeah. Hot with all that makeup on. Those big eyes. Yeah. He sort of suggested I go to the after party with him. I said, definitely not. Jason Mraz.
Okay.
Jason Mraz at the Diskin Foundation Food Farm, which I started many years ago.
Yes, we will
He's an
talk about
avocado grower.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He's very organic, lovely boy, lovely, totally like relaxed. That's why his songs are so lovely. He's just chilled. It's like Jack Johnson kind of vibe where they just, like they're for reals, you know?
He is for real, on the ground. He came to plant seeds. He loved what we were doing. This food garden I transformed from a rubbish dump, 60,000 hectares, into a flourishing food farm.
And still going?
No. I heard it's closed. And
they didn't maintain it.
It's, you know, I think COVID did a lot of damage to a lot of companies, organizations, and unfortunately I heard they closed it down. But for the time that it was going, which was 7 or 8 years, it did incredible good in nourishing communities, organizations, and feeding schemes in the country while I was part of it. Yeah.
Because you worked with, and you worked with Dischem a long time. You had a long run, very and also very philanthropic work with Dischem as well.
Absolutely. I had, have we finished on the pop star scene or are we going to go back?
Not really. We've still got lots
John Legend. What I need to say, John Legend is just pure magic in every way.
He is,
pure magic. Yeah, pure magic. And actually, he brought his mum on tour with him, which was also lovely. I love it when they bring their mums with them, or their Luther Vandross brought his mum, Celine brought her mum, he brought his mum. Oh, there are a lot of them who brought their mums. I love it when the mums come. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like they get to see the real part. Aha! Tell us a little bit about this guy. Is he or isn't he okay?
He is I'll tell you what I remember. It was Joburg Stadium, human rights concert that they played for free. And I was trying to remember today, and I'm not sure if it's COVID fog or aging, but we had a big hoo-ha at that concert. Steve Hofmeyr, it was some political something, and I can't truthfully remember it. But what I do remember is Steve Hofmeyr tweeted or some social media thing that he threw his U2 tickets in a river or tore them up and whatever. And I just remember there was this media storm. And I can't remember if it was Irish politics or South African politics, but I do know that the Sunday morning after, it was spinning all day. And yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot of stuff. But I know Steve Hofmeyr was involved. He was magnificent. I know I took him into 702 to clear to make the record straight on what he was talking about.
Yes.
And he was very negotiable, very bright, musician,
Yes, he's very
real
smart.
musician. I mean,
And
the fact
also
they're
very
riding
plugged
their own-
cars and all that.
No, they're just, that's Bono. And in fact, I have to tell you, Rebecca Harefield, who was our photographer who worked on many tours, one of the many, said to me at the Joburg Stadium, I'd given up smoking. And Bono's manager called me and said he wants to talk to you. And generally the artists would often ask, where am I? Tell me a bit about it. Who's the audience? Very regular questions. And Rebecca, the photographer, said to me, tell him to say Sal Bono when he opens at Joburg Stadium. Sal Bona. He opened and said Sal Bono. And of course the audience went mad. Yeah, Sal Bono. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Enrique!
Okay, Enrique and his dad, energy, Latin American vibe, gorgeous, sultry. Wow, yeah. He's
everything.
Just everything, lovely. I mean, I love it. Oh, there's his dad, yeah.
Yes.
His dad, wow.
He's still a crooner. He's still an absolute Spanish crooner.
I need to always ask this question, like, how did he get it so right with all these women around him? All these fans, these women fans. He just, the Latino, the love songs, the melody, the ballad, the eye contact, the body language, the flirtation, he just
That's
got
the
it
package.
so
It's
right.
the package. He had the package.
So he only likes having his picture, by the way, taken from the right. Yeah. Okay, so this is quite an unusual pick.
Okay.
This was the third Elton John tour that I had done. And I have stories from all of the tour, but this particular one was and I was amazed because he ran out of his dressing room onto the stage. He saw me and he ran back to come and say hi and kiss me hello. And I mean, that's his manager in the background. And if I remember correctly, it was like, wow, this is something else. This is not common. So,
sure.
Yeah, that's right. You can see how the manager's looking at me and the bodyguard. Yeah. So that was it. Okay, so these are the
Madden Brothers.
The what?
The Madden Brothers.
The Madden Brothers, the band. Help me. Coke Fest.
Yes. Oh, Coke Fest.
So, they were from the Coke
Benji and the other one. Benji, I think, is married to Cameron Diaz.
Correct. Yeah. Coke Fest, rock, heavy metal, rock and roll
Vibe.
into your soul,
Yes.
loud noise, pumping monitors, craziness, your fillings fall out. Yeah. Rolling Stones was also like that. Yeah.
Oh, I can
Now,
imagine.
Paris was dating one of them.
Oh, one of the brothers, yes.
She was dating one of them. I can't remember which one.
And what was she doing there?
Excuse me. She came out with one of them, and
Okay.
the opportunist that I am,
Good
always thinking
girl.
about my communities, asked her to autograph stuff. So I got a whole lot of autographed stuff from her.
Absolutely.
She was on stage taking pictures. I have to tell you, she's extraordinarily beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes, yes.
She is beautiful.
Without makeup, she's even more beautiful.
God,
Oh,
she's
that's
beautiful.
lovely.
Okay, that's another beautiful woman.
Yeah,
So
she is.
this tour was done by Duncan Herefield. We did Joburg and Cape Town. Celine, Renee, and her son Renee Charles were in the country for 3 weeks. Yeah. And I toured with them, I shopped with them. Wow. We did concerts. I took them to the African Children's Feeding Scheme, of which she gave them a donation of 5 million rand.
Whoa.
She was absolutely horrified.
Wow.
Absolutely horrified. There she is with Renee, her mum. There's her mum. Renee Charles, the late Renee, with young Junior and Celine
The little one.
at the African Children's Feeding Scheme. She asked me what I felt she should do for them. And I said, because I have a history with them and I know what they needed, I said, everything about this feeding scheme is basic. There is never anything that is special or fabulous or beautiful or childlike. It's always basic. I said, wouldn't it be stunning if we could hold a birthday party every 4 months for all the kids' birthdays and give them the time of their lives? And for 5 years, the African Children's Feeding Scheme ran birthday parties, the most beautiful birthday parties with cake and clowns and face painters and presents, and that came from her.
Wow.
5 years, over 5 years. An incredible woman, generous woman, very in touch, very in tune with life. A star, real star.
A real star, for sure. Chris Cornell, sad,
He was
gone too soon.
sad. Yeah.
Was he
was part of-
depressed?
I don't know. I can't answer that, but I do know that he was so helpful in interviews and meet and greets and signings and press conferences and whatever. Yeah, that was my Coke Fest. Yeah.
Wow. So, just
Bocelli.
Andrea Bocelli.
So I was very lucky to be the lead publicist on the opening and the closing of the World Cup concerts. And I had worked a year on the job, 2010, for the American Control Room Company and Hazel Feldman from Showtime. And this was actually the closing concert where I had introduced the Mzansi Youth Choir to him to come and perform at his arrival at the airport. And he actually invited them to come and perform at his 2 Johannesburg concerts. So unfortunately, there's not a picture of the opening concert, but the Black Eyed Peas were on it. Shakira was on it. Very difficult time in my life. My mom died the day of the opening of the concert, and my dad died the day of the closing.
What?
So I lost them both in 3 weeks, yeah. So it's all
Really?
a bit of a blur to me, yeah.
I can imagine, but isn't that so weird? Sometimes we ask ourselves, like, what is this all about? I mean, how does this
Well,
happen?
I think it was such a, funnily enough, I must say is that I did say to my family, I need to go to the concert because my mom was so involved. She had collected all the press clippings, and anytime they spoke on the radio, she'd phone me or cut it out of the newspaper. And I said she'd be really sad if I didn't go. She was so much part of it. She was so proud of me. And she died the day of the concert. It's all a blur. I went, it's a blur. I can't remember anything. And then, of course, 3 weeks later, my dad dies. And, it was, yeah, broken heart. They were together for over 60 years. But losing your parents in 3 weeks while you're in the middle of this, and, you just
And the show
shut down.
must go on. Yeah, of course.
And you know what? The show has to go on.
That's it. We know this. I
We
mean,
know that the show has to go on. So there was
I've had
very
some
little
times.
grieving. So there's
Grieving.
Tina Turner. This was in
Tina.
Paris.
Tell
in the
me about
80s.
Tina in Paris.
So that's Tina in Paris. And Tina was coming out on tour for a Peter Stuyvesant Music Spectacular. And there again, Tina, please, can I have 2 Cindy, 2 Penny, 2 Brad, 2, getting the autographs again. She's like looking and saying, is it not enough? So I'd flown from South Africa to go to her launch of her Wildest Dreams concert tour,
Okay.
global. And she was starting in South Africa. I mean, look at her outfit. I mean, just look at that outfit. This is
Spectacular.
iconic star. So I was in her room in her hotel suite, very generous to me, very kind. And she sit down on the bed, can I get you something to eat? And we're at the Ritz in Paris. And she says these French da-da-das, da-da-da, I don't know what the hell. You know that kind of scene in a movie when a guy takes a girl out on a date and he says, would you like Chateau de la Dora? And she doesn't know what the hell he's saying. And she says, I'll have what you're having. So I said, you know what, I'll have what you're having. That sounds great. And she had ordered sushi in French. And I'd never eaten sushi before. Oh, my word. Raw fish with Tina Turner on her bed at the Ritz-Carlton in Paris.
Oh my God, how
How do
can
you
one
do
say
that?
no?
No, but how do you eat it? How do
Yeah,
you eat it?
you had to
You
watch her.
force yourself.
You force yourself.
She was magnificent, kind, beautiful woman, deep soul,
Yes.
enormously spiritual. Okay, the pics are coming fast and furious.
Madiba,
Iconic.
Al Jarreau.
El Jarreau, Winnie Mandela. Sadly, all 3 are not with us
Gone.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lot of stories to tell. First of all, El Jarreau, whenever the jacarandas come out, every year,
Yes.
I think of him.
Okay.
Because when I used to drive him around, I used to open the windows and listen to the jacarandas pop. And he would scat a popping sound for the journey in the car.
Whoa. Penny.
Beyond. I
Wow.
know. Beyond. And whenever they fall and I drive over them, I can hear El Jarreau in
Him.
my ears scatting
Singing.
to the pops of our jacarandas. I mean,
That's a special
Yeah.
thing, Penny.
yeah.
You have such incredible memories and all this stuff. I mean, the people that you worked with, not even to say Michael Jackson.
Yeah, wow. How much time have we got?
It's actually It's 8:02. We can keep going, girl.
No, we are. Okay, so let me just tell you, Michael Jackson, the
Please.
most extraordinary tour of my life.
Okay.
Crazy, mayhem, mad, exciting, invigorating, challenging, eye-opening, high adrenaline, anxiety. Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, there's
Beautiful,
yeah.
beautiful.
And that really was his autograph, by the way. Yeah, I was on tour with him for 2 weeks. Yeah.
I have to ask you a question, Penny. I mean, with all these rock stars that you've been hanging out with, have you ever been offered drugs?
I'm so happy you asked me. No, I'm so happy. So I'm going to take my glasses off here. Okay.
Please do.
Do you know, everybody has always thought and believed that everything about the music industry is sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And alcohol.
I know that. I know.
And you know that. You know that it's not all like that.
I know that.
It's not. In some instances it is.
Yeah, sure.
In some instances it's not. In some of the greatest rock stars in the world, they are vegans who are on macrobiotic diets.
Yes.
I didn't know about I didn't know about what are those
macrobiotic.
Things that they eat? Macrobiotics. I learned about macrobiotics. I didn't know what a pescatarian was until I met a rock star who's a pescatarian. So it's not always like that. So the usual question is, you must get asked for drugs all the time. Cindy, I've never been asked for a drug. And it upsets me totally. Like, what's wrong with me?
No, there's nothing wrong with you, Penny.
What is wrong with me? That you've never asked me. You asked me to go and buy diamonds. You asked me to take you to Namibia to buy emeralds. You've never asked me for drugs. Not that I would be able to get them.
No.
And then I just figured, you know, there are just some people who I suppose just look like they wouldn't know where to get it. And I think I'm just one of those people. Because while you might be having a whiskey, I'm drinking my tea.
Yes,
or you might be having a glass of wine.
Yes.
And I'm holding a hot glass of whiskey that I haven't even touched and it's boiling.
Yes.
But I will tell you, I sat with this for years. Like, everyone asked. It's like, no one's ever asked me.
It's funny.
One day, in my 50s,
yes.
This is not when I was 18, in my mid-50s, I was doing community work. And I was doing community work in an old age home in Enidale called the Huis Andries.
Okay.
Very terrible place. Parents abandoned by their children. Sad, lonely, sick, poor, horrible, just horrible. And I decided that I wanted to do a birthday party because there was a woman who was 108. I'd never met a 108-year-old in my life. How many 108s have you met?
None.
Have you ever?
Never.
No. Tante Tessie was her name. And I said, she had these very big glasses on. She had come from Knysna. She had lived there for 15 years. 20 years. She'd never had a visit. Not anyone. Killed me. I said, you know what? I want to do a birthday party to celebrate her 108th birthday. So I phoned Hilary Biller, who was the cook. I said, help, I need a soft, spongy cake for 180 old people who haven't got any teeth. I need da-da-da. So we laid on this spectacular party. Hilary made a cake that was huge for 180 people. Soft sponge, got to think of these things.
Yes.
With roses and butterflies and whatever.
Oh.
So, And we had an umpapa band, and they all umpapaed, and we had a lamb braai, cut it into little pieces. It was beautiful, and put Tantisi at the top of the table. And I said to her, like loudly whispering in her ear, "Do you like your cake?" She said, "It's the most bloody awful thing I've ever seen."
Oh my God.
At 108, you're allowed to say that. You
Okay.
are so allowed to say that.
Okay.
It is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
We cut the cake up, distribute it, and there's a frail care. And there had been a man who I'd seen often when I'd done my visits there, who didn't speak. He was youngish, and he disturbed me a lot. I felt he was terribly lonely. And I went into his room, and I said, "It's Tantisi's birthday. I'd love to give you a piece of her birthday cake." And he says, "Screw the cake, bring the weed." Somebody asked me
for drugs. Finally. And it was only weed. Oh, it doesn't even count.
right.
It doesn't really count, doll.
Someone asked me when I was 55, and I started doing this from 18. I put it on my CV.
I love it. That's funny. I mean, it's funny. Oh, Penny.
True.
It's a true story. I
true.
know that it's true. Do you want to talk a little bit about this kids' clinic? It's heartbreaking.
I think I should, because I think it's, well, all the fun, and we're now going from extremes.
Yes.
We're now going from the most
Rock and roll.
high-profile,
Yes.
the richest, the
Yes.
biggest voices,
Yes.
the most noticed, and the most iconic people in the world. And I went 180 degrees. And I served those people for 30 years, the rich, the famous, and the biggest voices. And I moved to serve the nameless, the faceless, the voiceless, and the poorest. And it was such an easy transition for me, because I had seen so much excess in my life, which was not mine. It was other people's.
I know.
It wasn't mine. Wow. I got stuck in, and I worked and created and started built the Discovrtv Foundation up for 14 years. Did some unbelievable projects that, thank goodness, continue to work and continue to happen yearly. I think eventually, when you work in the streets, and I mean, where people say, "Where's your job now?" And I say, I suppose then my job was in the streets. And I worked in communities that had suffered the most terrible tragedies and were in such deep pain and had such enormous issues, whether it be sickness, abuse, rape, hunger, mental illness, abandonment, old age, poverty. I mean, I can go on. I'd seen it all. I traveled the country extensively. I had done my research, I'd done my homework, and the only thing you can do is one thing at a time.
Yes.
And I was really lucky and privileged that I had the opportunity to really go in there and make a big difference. And many things that I saw affected me terribly, terribly. Things I never want to see again, but things that I know I want to change.
Yeah.
Last year, not last year, the year before, because this is a much bigger conversation, and
Of
I'm
course
sorry
it
I'm
is.
going to have to hurry it up because I know time is not on our side. But I was doing a random act of kindness, and I went to a children's rape clinic, and I was what you would call a secret shopper. And a secret shopper is somebody who goes in to have a look at a place, they don't know who you are, you go and check it out, and you show an interest in it, and then you go back and you come back and you do good work. So I walked into this rape clinic. I was with 702. We were filming it. Well, I arrived there, and I was devastated from what I saw. First of all, there's a children's court that abused children from the age of 3 testified. From 3. So the mandate of the King's Clinic in Boksburg is up to 18. They look after sexually abused children, boys and girls. I went outside, and there was this courtyard, and it was very quiet, solemn, sad, not much noise, nothing that I expected a children's playground to feel like. The kids were just vacant. And I looked at 3 of them, and the manager of the clinic said to me, "There are new intakes." And I never asked, but he said their grandparents had been making pornographic videos of them and selling it. I was horrified. I was absolutely horrified. I left the clinic feeling devastated. I mean, my grandparents were everything. They put fresh pajamas on my bed. They read stories at night. They're your protectors.
You used to sleep in their beds.
These are kids 3, 5, and 7. And I drove back. I was so disturbed. I said, one day when I have the energy, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to do some real good work. Fast forward to last year, actually the year before. Carte Blanche ran a story about no rape kits being in any of the police stations. There was a shortage due to some,
mystery of life.
Some tender issue.
Yes.
And I looked at this, I said, no, this cannot be happening. How the hell are these children, and I said, these children, how, if they don't have these medical rape kits, like, how are they going to catch the perpetrators? I phoned Carte Blanche, I said, I'm doing whatever I phoned the Angel Network. I phoned. I said, guys, we're going to do these. Unfortunately, protocols didn't allow us to do the medical kit. But what it did allow us to do was to do a proper comfort rape cap for children, which is, it's got essentials in it. It's not a lucky packet.
Understand.
It's got essentials.
Yeah.
So it's got sugar in it, it's got underwear in it, It's got a lot of stuff. And through the Angel Network and the public, we managed to make 7,000 of these packs. People arrived in my driveway and packed. We just did it. The Angel Network were amazing. A lot of the stuff went to Matlabana in the Western Cape, and here to the 2 rape clinics in Boksburg. Fast forward last year, I bumped into Miranda Jordan, actually during COVID. Only bumped into her because we're such huge animal lovers. And I did a blanket collection, and I said, she looks after dogs in Alex, and I said, come and get some blankets for your dogs. Dogs and me. So she said, of course, and she came to see me. She heads up the clinics. And she said, things are so out of control. What are we going to do? And I said, I'll do anything for you, whatever. She said, just come and help us. Get it out there. Lockdown, sexual abuse is at its worst.
Yeah.
We can't cope.
Yeah.
And so on. And I said, I'm with you. So I said, I can only do 6 months. I think my emotional state could only cope with 6 months.
Sure.
And we redid the clinics. We built a new jungle gym. We redid the gardens. We put curtains in. People were amazing. We redid these clinics so that when children
When
come,
you walk in, it looks like a
it's
home.
more use,
Yeah.
far more child friendly.
I'm sure, I don't want to disturb you right now, but I just want to say, I am sure there are a lot of people out there, when they hear this, they want to become involved. Is there some way they can connect with you?
Absolutely. First of all, Women and Men Against Child Abuse is the big advocacy agency, organization, NGO. They not only have the rape clinics, but what they do is, and this is the great part, they put perpetrators in court. They go and fight on behalf of the victims to ensure that the victims get a fair trial. And they have huge teams of advocacy people. You don't want to mess with them. So yeah, Women and Men. I'm also I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. You can always DM me a message there. So I'm going to end off on a happier note. Because we can go into a dark place when we start talking about all the ills.
But
because they're a lot.
I think we've crossed quite a few rivers here. I think we've heard about the realities of life, and we've heard about the drama and the craziness and the love of life and the music business. I think we've touched so many things, and that is who you are, Penny. You're a mosaic yourself. You're made up of all these pieces, and we got to see all of you tonight, which is magic to us. Please say what you want to say. Then I've got a few tiny little questions for you, and then we can say voila.
Thank you for that. Thank you. So very quickly, during the pandemic, we got a donation of a couple of 100 teddy bears, and they were pretty average. And I thought, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. Certainly not happy teddies. You want to give children bears that are happy and warm, comforting, and cuddly, and lovable. So I came up with this idea to approach every designer I could in this country to say, will you dress these bears?
I love
and
it.
then we'll sell these bears. We dressed 103 bears, partnered with Jenna Clifford, got some of the top designers, urban designers, older designers, younger designers, the most amazing designers.
Oh my God, look at that.
Yeah,
love it.
Those 2 bears.
Wow. Yeah.
And were our gangster bears made by A&M Interior Design.
I love it.
By Abaya and Brad. And they were so hot. Everybody wanted them. And I'm pleased to tell you that I own them at a premium price.
Okay.
I own them at a premium. I won't let them out of my sight. And in time to come, watch the media. In time to come, watch this space, because in 2 to 3 weeks' time, we're launching a magnificent, joyful, colorful, happy project.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Those are some of the
that's Abaya. Those are the designs.
Oh my God. Thank you to everybody that puts in with this stuff. There's people, and that's what I said, there's people out there. There are people that want to contribute and people who want to be part of something. Just to say hello, and our last little hello to our people here. We've got Phumzile Mbata.
Special young lady.
She's loving the show.
She knows me. She loves me. I love her. And I
Awesome.
love her daughter, Nala, who is my
Okay.
granddaughter.
Your
Family.
granddaughter.
Somebody in the
See,
family there. Thank you.
Shelley Howroyd, my friend, my photographer, my silversmith, she runs my jewelry line. She's amazing. If you ever need, we should talk
Oh,
about that.
good.
She's
Yeah.
making some beautiful things and things that could be auctioned and made money for. Terry Barker, Terry was the door girl at Plum Crazy.
Oh, my word.
When I say the door
Peter
girl,
Dester days. Peter Dester's.
Peter
Yeah.
Dester's place, absolutely. And thank you, everybody. Marion from Germany again, Anthony. Thanks for a wonderful show. Everybody absolutely love it. There we go. Thanks for the wonderful show. Penny, if you could do anything again, what would you choose? Would you choose to do exactly this? Would you choose something else? After all the time that you've spent doing what you've done and knowing what you know, would there be something else you would do?
Well, I never made the chameleon part.
It's
I
never
suppose
too late.
you could become a comedian at 60. I mean, who says you can't?
It's you know what? At this age, we are having encore careers, honey.
No, let me tell you, you have to reinvent yourself.
All the
In
time.
honesty and in
All the time.
seriousness.
All the
Would
time.
would I have done something else? No, but I would have liked to have found more time in my life to help animals.
Okay.
And had I been aware of the environment earlier in my life, I most probably would have got stuck in there too. I have
Okay.
helped animals all my life.
Okay.
We didn't know about the environment. What did we know? We
No,
didn't
we
know.
didn't. We didn't know anything.
Now I do.
Yes.
And don't think that that's not on my to-do list.
No, sure.
It definitely is. Oh, and a real big major. I really need to perfect a chocolate cake.
Ah, okay. And when you do, would you
Your cup of
invite me
tea.
over? I would like to come for tea, Penny.
I'd love you. I don't serve wine. I only serve tea.
I don't. I just do tea. I'm not a drinker.
Good.
I like,
Lovely.
it reminds me of my mom. My mom used to make a stunning chiffon chocolate cake in the heart-shaped tin. Do you remember those
Classic.
heart-shaped tins?
Of course. Of
Two
course.
layers, the little
And
bit
they
of
were
strawberry
this high.
jam. It was this high, but the most
Did it have
magnificent
cream?
chocolate. She'd
Did you put
sometimes
cream
put
in it?
cream, or she
Yeah.
would sometimes put jam, strawberry jam. But Penny, you got it.
I've come to terms with the fact that I will never be able to bake. Okay, so I can't put it on my CV. I'll go to the shop and buy.
You go and you buy, or you get the kit, and it can't go wrong.
Oh no,
You
those
know?
are terrible. Sorry.
Oh, they're not
You put
good.
any oil in.
Yes,
Oh, I don't know.
but
as long as
they're
it's fluffy.
fabulous. What else can we do? Penny, I can't tell you what an experience this has been. The people are just loving it. Great show, awesome show. Wow, thank you for the wonderful show. It's just, we touched on so many things. We could have gone on talking for another bloody hour. I knew it was going to
know.
happen. I knew it, because there's still so much I wanted to ask you. And
So you know what? We'll have to do it again.
let's
When
do
we can
another one.
Talk about John Bon Jovi and his little backside. When I
Oh!
can talk about and Celine Dion in more detail, and the Rolling Stones, and
Oh.
Krista Bergen and Joe Cocker, and we'll talk. I'm going nowhere.
Good.
I'm right here. And so
There are going to be version 2s of a lot of things, because this has to go on. I mean, I had another 10 questions for you, and it's just like, whoa, we've lost.
Just ask me one more. One more.
Can I ask you one more? Right now, where you are at in your life, what matters to you?
Humanity,
Okay.
compassion, empathy, care, kindness, sensitivity. That matters. a lot.
And it's a funny thing that it can take half a lifetime to discover that those things are more important than some other things that we chased when we were younger, you know.
Well, I don't think you have the maturity, you
No,
know.
we don't.
I don't think you can expect that. I think, certainly in my lifetime, humanity has lifted me up and humanity has disappointed me terribly. And I realize, certainly even COVID is a perfect example.
Sure.
If we don't take care of each other, and if we don't take care of each other's emotional headspace and sanity, in kindness, empathy, listening, and friendship, then we just got one collective smashed headspace. And that is going to be the aftermath of COVID. So if we don't take the time and the energy to protect our own mental health,
yes,
the ones around us, and those we can help, with empathy, kindness, compassion, and care, then really what are we? COVID has stripped us. It stripped us. What else do we have?
We've gone down to the basic essentials of a human life, which are compassion, humanity, care, go out of your way, like it used to be way back when, you know, when the world wasn't such a mess.
I think there's a great... The days of quick fixes are over. I think the days of getting there quick and fast are over. I think it's time we all need to look inward. You know, people always say to me, what is the kind of life you wanted to live? And truthfully, I just want to say a life well lived.
And I think you can say that, Penny. I think right now, sitting here,
I've still got a life left. We've still got a life left.
That's the thing. Right now, you're living the life you want to live, and enough said, because a lot of people can say at this point, yeah, you know, there were things I wanted to do, really had regrets about this, I did this, blah, blah, blah. And I think being in the space that you're in right now is a very comforting space. Yes, you want to do more things. I know I'm in that space too. I keep creating new things because I have hunger for so much still, you know. It's not over. And I've got this song called Tightrope, and at the end of Tightrope it says, the journey isn't over. And that's my story. The journey isn't over. So let's just keep on this journey.
You've had a remarkable life. And look at you. Remarkable. Remarkable.
Thank you. Thank you, Madame. Thank you so much.
Be well.
And thank you for being on this. Yeah, be well, be safe. This has been spectacular. I'm so happy to have had you on the show. You were absolutely wonderful, remarkable, delightful. You brought everything to the party. All the people out there that watch the show, we appreciate you. Discovrtv, who have given me this platform to live my little dream out. Thank you. And Penny, till the next time, sweetheart. Much love.
Ciao. See you.
Ciao.
Bye. Bye.